You already know what it is. We back at it with Talk Your Barber Shit. Your host, Garcia the Barber. So, like I always say, I got another special guest that's gonna be hitting the channel, talk about the barber industry, the hair industry, his journey, his growth. So much knowledge, so much wisdom. I mean, I'm just honored to be able to keep doing this, keep sitting down with so many amazing folks, and just hearing all the amazing parts of this industry and how it keeps motivating me to keep doing what I'm doing. So I'm gonna let this run, let it send out its notification. But yeah, we're gonna jump into it really soon. So just hold on. I'm gonna let it do what it do. Send out that notification. Looking forward to everybody jumping in. I know you're pushing the growth, and I just love these conversations and love the people that I can connect with through social media. So we got Mr. Roberts, Lamar underline score Randle. That's his IG handle. Master barber, celebrity hairstylist, nominee. Worked on a lot of amazing shows. Styled a lot of amazing actors and actors. So, All right, so I see my boy just logged in. Let's get it started. I just sent you the invite, so you welcome to join the board, man. Let's go.
Yo, what's good, brother?
Right, sir. There you go.
Hold on a second.
Let me know if you hear me or see me very clearly. Sometimes my Wi-Fi.
I can. Let me
And then,
let me adjust my camera real quick. Okay, cool. I'm on it. That's cool right there.
all right.
How you, bro?
Push back just a little bit so we could get a good clarity.
How's that?
Or
Now,
bring the camera a little bit.
bring it
Or
down some more.
you stand.
Let me get these readjustments happening.
All right,
Sorry
don't
about
worry.
that.
Take your time.
My phone rack is acting crazy. All right, cool. This how to do it.
There you go.
How that look?
That looks good. That looks amazing.
That's cool.
All right.
All right,
So,
brother. How you feeling, man?
you know how you want me to do my introduction? Do you want me to use your IG handle or do you want me to use your your preferred government name? Like, how do you want me to let everybody know who we talking to today?
Well, it doesn't matter, brother. You can use either or, man. You know, I know they'll know me by my IG,
Okay.
just by you know, because we're on IG, so that'd probably be best. And not, yeah, let's do Lamar_Randle.
All right, for
So
sure. So,
that way people won't be confused.
so I always like to do my introduction by announcing the things that, my guests have done throughout their journey being in this industry. So, from what I see on your handle, two-time Go nominee. Um, you worked on so many different projects. You're a master barber, master hairstylist. Have attributed to a lot of things in our industry as far as like working with a lot of TV shows and movie events, and being part of the hairstyling team and creating a lot of amazing looks. But I also like to journey back into, the beginning of like what got you started, what made you decide to jump in this industry. Was it a family tradition? Did you have someone in your family that was doing hair and it kind of trickled down? Or was this all for you, see having the foresight to see that, this is something that, that you wanted to jump into? So let's get started. Like how did this all start and how did it begin?
Okay, my fault. Your sound was going in and out for the
Sorry.
last part. Well, how I got started, just cutting hair, period, or cutting hair for motion
No,
pictures.
cutting hair, Barry, the beginning.
Okay, very beginning. Let's go back, way back. I tell you what, and you might hear me doing some grunting. I got injured at work, so I'm down right now. So my back is jacked up and all that good stuff. So missing a tooth too. So worried about me, but I'm good. I tell you what, the very beginning, I was 10 years old, and my hair, we can get like $5 a week allowance, right? Now, being that I was the bigger between me and my brother, Dad made me do more stuff, so I did a lot of work for $5 a week. Now, this for real. This 82, okay? And he took us to the barber shop. My dad used to cut us, and like he was real good at it, super good at it. We got old pictures where the fades is popping, lining's nice, everything. I'm like, Dad, you was wet, but he never wanted to pursue getting a license for it. It was him and his siblings. It was 10 of them together. So a lot of boys too. So they just had to kind of learn how to, take care of each other in that way, cutting their hair. But he would cut me and my brother up, and like I said, take us to the barber shop. And it got to a point where he was like, you know what, y'all need to start paying for your own cuts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, hold on, let me, all right, let me see. So the haircuts was like, I think they were $3 back then, and we would tip $1.50. Now I know that sounds crazy right now, but back then tipping $1 is like tipping 10, 15 now, And his name, we called him Uncle Frank. His name was Frank Hightower Sr. And we called him Uncle Frank. And I was like, I told him, I said, Uncle Frank, when I come now, I got to pay for the haircuts myself. But when I pay it, I only got like $1 left. Sometimes it's 50 cents. And I don't like feeling like that. That's just what I told him. And I said, I think I can cut my own hair.
Oh.
He said, you think so? I said, yeah, I think I could do it. And he was a beast at barbering, like for real, man. Back then, the clippers weren't sharp enough to give you them real clean, tight lining. So if you had a clean, tight lining, everybody knew who you went to.
Right.
And Kelly, Allen and Kelly, back in the day, Mr. Winters, all of that. And that shout out to Peoria 309. That's my hometown, baby, Illinois. So he was like, okay, well, show me. And back then we would just get what they call collisions. We didn't call it that back where we're from, but I know a lot of people understand what I'm talking about. Just low even, clean lining, clean neck lining. They didn't fade it out. They lined it, okay?
Right.
And so he said, okay, well, tell me how to do a haircut. Tell me how I cut your hair. So I had to tell him. He's like, all right, okay, well, do this for me. He said, okay, that sounds good. That sounds just right. He said, get that razor. And he put shaving cream on his forearm, his inside of his forearm, and he was like, shave the hair off. I was like, all right. And what was crazy, bro, honestly, I didn't think about this, but in hindsight, you know, I was like, man, I wasn't even scared.
Yeah.
I love knives and stuff. I was in Cub Scouts and all that good stuff, Boy Scouts, all that. So I love knives. I love being all out in the woods and all that. My dad, I'm from Mississippi, so country is in me, you know. And so that was right up my alley. So I went ahead, shaved his arm, and he said, man, I knew the way you grabbed my arm and how you stretched my skin, I was going to be fine. So once I shaved it clean, he wiped it. He said, man, you got it. He gave me a straight razor, and he said, do your hair today. I'll see you tomorrow at church. My dad was like, hold on, man, wait a minute. He's 10 years old. What you giving him a straight razor for? You know, he was like, no, he got it. Like, I seen what he could do. Just check it out. You know, him doing this on my arm. He said he told me how I cut his hair. I think he could do it. He was the very first person to say they think I could do it. My dad was like, nah. But I was an adventurous kid, so I would try just about anything within reason. I like to, that's just like to learn how things will work. So I went home. I cut my hair that day. Went to church Sunday. He seen it. He's like, oh, you don't need me. It's just what he said. Then my dad told me I couldn't cut my brother hair, right? So he told me don't cut him. So I snuck, of course, to cut him anyway. But I knew what I was doing. But it was like, you know, if I mess up, it's over. Dad looking my tail. There ain't no child abuse back in the day. That was a whooping. So I just I cut him up, man. It turned out real nice. And the rest was history. It's like I started literally the next week. I cut a few of my cousins. I had them stay the night with me. And cut them up. We was up like 2 a.m, man. I'm cutting them, I'm putting designs in their hair because I like to draw. And I always like to draw. So I was putting designs in their hair back then. We go to church. Everybody flipped out because you saw the regular Z's. And I'm going to tell you, I'm telling my age. In 82, all you saw literally in my hometown. And I could speak for like Chicago area, all of that, because I was going up there a lot too. Our churches would travel, you know, church. So, and that's the only place you would see a design that wasn't just an arrow or just a Z or a Nike sign, Nike symbol. So that's how I started, man. I was in my parents' basement. I set up a shelf, nailed it on the wall, put screws on the wall and everything. And it was the wall back there. I don't know if you know, but the basement's walls had that wood paneling on it. So your parents didn't care if you hung stuff up. You can't tell. The more holes in it, the better it looked, you know. So I put the shelf up, a mirror. I had one light above my head, man. And I just went to work after that. Just having friends come over, and they come over to play. Their parents bring them over just to play or let them stay the night, but they go home with a haircut. You there?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm here.
It had froze up on your end. You
Yeah,
good?
simultaneously it was freezing up on yours as well. So, but we good now. But I
Okay.
heard what you said. They came over, but they will leave with a haircut.
They leave with a haircut, man. And I was like, you know, if I could just put it on kids like that, on people will believe it. And then I charged $2 a haircut, bro, for years. Whatever you wanted. It was the more challenging, the better to me. So I did, because I was from Illinois, I did a lot of Bulls logos, Chicago logos, did a lot of Sox logos. Man, you name it. It didn't matter. Adidas symbols, this, that, and another. But so by the time I made it to barber college, they wouldn't let me start until I turned 18. And my birthday is in February. And so I was, during my senior year of high school is when they let me join.
Let's backtrack a little.
Go back.
Design part. And also you decide to do cuts, but still make profit off of it, even though you wasn't licensed. You decided to say, hey, I feel like my quality is strong enough. I feel like I'm very motivated and dedicated to give you the cut that you're asking for. So how did you get into the designing part? Like also when you would transfer that from the paper on head, how easy was that for you?
How easy
Did
was
you
it?
hear
Now,
me?
you was breaking up a whole lot. So
Oh
you
man.
said, how easy was it for me to get into the designs?
Yeah, so design part. So was you an artist already drawing a lot? And then when people would ask you for designs in their hair, how was that? How easy was that to transfer something from paper onto someone's, they skull, they head,
Man,
they
I
cranium?
just, it was just a challenge. It was something, I'm never afraid to take a new challenge. 9 out of 10, you got 10 people in the room, 9 of them want to go this way. I'll probably go the other way.
Yeah,
If it makes sense.
yeah.
If it definitely makes sense, if the science of it all lines up right, I'm like, man, let's do it. I just figured that it's just like drawing. I said, I hold my clipper like it's a ink pen.
Mm-hmm.
I said, and I think it's just like drawing. I mean, their head is my canvas.
Mm-hmm.
I even got some T-shirts that says that your head my canvas. And I'm like not going into it boldly. Honestly, I didn't even think about messing up.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Honestly, I mean, thank God that that's natural in me. But I mean, that's probably one of the best things you can ever tell somebody is don't think about, if you think about messing up, you probably gonna mess up. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying I'm not saying act like it can't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm a realist too. Let's say that. But focus on what you what you want the outcome to be.
Mm-hmm.
If you want it to be positive, be positive. And people challenge me, and I thank God for them. Back, another shout out, Peoria, Illinois, hometown Richard Pryor. He said it himself. Peoria was his toughest crowd ever, and he said he would never go back there and perform. He ended up coming back shooting a movie, JoJo Dancing.
I got
So
that. I
yeah,
got.
so and it's like Peoria. I felt them on that, and honestly, you don't want everybody to just, be bandwagon with you, like, man, oh yeah, you could do it. You want them to sit back and be skeptical because that gives you a level to rise to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. It's really hard to say. It just really came very natural to me to do it in people's hair. And the only mess up I was worried about was my brother. That very first one, I was like, man, I better not. I said, dude, you better not move. And him and I was like, we were oil and water. You know what I mean? So if I say don't do something, he gonna do it anyway.
Right.
We're only 2 years apart,
Yeah.
but you would think it was a bigger gap.
No, I have a younger brother, so I do understand where you're coming from.
Yes, sir.
We're similar in certain ways, but definitely different in a lot of ways. So I get
For
it.
sure. For
But
sure.
we're 11 years apart, so yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Bigger difference.
yeah. Let me ask you this: knowing when you started, you say you started with yourself, and then gradually was building your clientele and stuff like that.
It built
How,
fast too.
how
It built up really fast.
Okay, okay. So was it people that just saw you're doing your cut and came up to me? It's like, who cut your hair? And you was like, me, and they allowed it, or was you advertising to people that you already knew and they was like comfortable with allowing you to cut your hair?
I did it all.
Okay.
The reason what made people comfortable, and I'm sorry I left this part out. After I cut my hair and cut my brother's hair, we went to church and people seen it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the next time we went, when I did my cousin's hair, they was tripping on the designs and all that stuff, but you're still skeptical.
Yeah.
They're like, man,
Yeah.
they might be lying, they might be playing, them his cousins,
Yeah.
And then I did my own. I did my name in my hair
Yeah.
in the back, and I
That's crazy.
said if I could do it in the back,
That's
to me I felt like it was easier
yeah.
because you strain it's more strain on your eyes turning them sideways, right?
Yeah.
So if you can, they naturally want to sit forward. So if I figured, this is how I thought as a kid, bro, literally by everything. I always broke it all the way down. It had to make sense because like I said, back in the day, you get your tail whooped for playing around too much, you know?
Right.
So I said to myself, I said, well, if I can hold a mirror in my hand, it's just like I'm looking at somebody's head right in front of my face.
Correct.
So literally I did my brother's and my own before anybody even got in that chair. So by the third, fourth week, because I did something to it every week, I had a ton of cousins. So I would do a bunch of them, and they were part, like, we lived on the north, east, west, south side of town. I had peoples everywhere. I said, man, I can attack and hit all the neighborhoods with just my family, right? So when I put my name in the back, then I went to church, and people were like, wait a minute. Okay, now, who cut your hair? So a lot of folks felt like, okay, now we done found the person that's really doing his brother and his cousins, and it's not him, right? And they literally had to have my parents walk over it and tell people, no, he did it. He did it, so we watched him.
Right.
We seen him do it, and we couldn't believe it. After that, bro, it was, God just blessed me to be able to have, I had too much clientele to handle, literally. Like, when I started barber school, I had about 350 clients.
No, that's amazing. Because I know, like, I mean, to be honest with me, like, when I first started to decide that I wanted to really, dig into being a barber, I was a little bit older. So a lot of people that knew me as a kid in my adult years, they kind of question a lot of stuff, like, oh, you trying to be a barber or you trying to cut hair now? Or you going to be over there jacking up people's hair? But they didn't say jacking up, they said another word.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like, so it was a lot of like, negative, remarks and stuff like that. So for me, I had to battle through and not look for support from friends and family for me to cut their hair. My support came from people that didn't know me and started constantly coming back and coming back and coming back. And then I was able to build my content and put my videos out there. And then all of a sudden later on, the people that knew me from as a kid to adult to where I'm at now, they was like, oh, can I set an appointment? So just see that bounce back from, oh, you trying to be a barber? Oh, I want to get my hair cut from you.
Hey,
so
I hear
you. Did you never have to experience that because you felt?
Did.
Oh, okay.
No, I experienced that. Be like I said, where I'm from, they rough. I just told you the smooth version. I mean, I did them heads free. I was like, oh, you don't believe me? Here, if I mess up, I'll pay you. If you don't like it, I'll pay you. If you don't crack a smile, I'll pay you.
Right.
All you had to do is hold a still face, and I'm gonna give you your money, right? Because I was cutting grass, raking leaves, shoveling snow since I was 8, and I used to do the neighbors. So I already was making money. I already knew how to make money. I come from a long line of people who own, of my family, my dad, my uncles, and my aunts and cousins. They own their own businesses, So we all, it was like rooted and grounded in us. We just hustled. They hustled all the way from Mississippi to Illinois. So, yeah, I did run into a lot of that, bro. Especially, like I said, when I went to barber school, most of them down there didn't know who I was.
Correct.
They didn't know who I was. So literally the first 30 days in barber school, nobody would let me touch them. I told everybody that I cut, do not come down there.
Yeah.
Because I'm not making money down there, and you trying to be slick and pay your little $5 to the school
right.
and don't give me mine,
Right.
Excuse me. So nobody, it was the only people who knew I could cut. Actually, it was 2 barbers in there, Pete and Charlie. Shout out to y'all. But Charlie was the only one who knew I could cut hair. And that's because a cousin of mine is a good friend of him. And I did my cousin's hair. My cousin went to him and showed him. And he was the very first person, like, he was on me like, dude, go to barber school. Charlie Thomas, Peoria, Illinois. He was like, go. C. Woo, that's his nickname. He was like, dude, you gotta go, man. For real. Why wouldn't you go? Why wouldn't you go? And I was like, man, you know, I'm doing good at the crib with this, but my whole dream was to play professional football and be an architect as well.
Oh, yeah.
So I did some college and you know, that was my major and minor, but I stopped college because my business was jumping off so crazy, especially after barber school. But before that, it was people there, man. They wouldn't let me touch them, bro. And I would just spend my first 30 days just literally reading in the book, just reading. I go home and cut, and I didn't even tell them. I didn't even. I said, let me get acclimated. Let me fill out the area, because my school was in the hood. We literally was right behind the projects. It was a stone throw away. Somebody could throw a rock and hit the window. You know, the Harrison Home, Peoria, Illinois. And man, bro, it was tough winning in that crowd. It was tough winning anybody outside of who really knew me. And like I said, this was new. I was 10, 11, 12 years old. Those first 3 years, man, I literally gave away a ton of haircuts. I did things. People would tell me I couldn't do this, couldn't do that. To this day, people will say, you can't do this. And then I do it, and they're like, oh, okay. You know,
Never stops.
But doing my own hair and walking around with my billboard on my head, you couldn't deny me. You can say it, but whatever you're saying ain't true. And I literally would just challenge people, especially older guys, you know, who were in their 20s and 30s back then. And I tell them, man, I cut your hair right, pay me $100. I mess up, I pay you $200. Because I had uncles who kind of put me on game. They always talk to me, pull me to the side, let me know what to expect. You know what I mean? Black men. It had to block it out, and it hurt. You know what I mean? It did hurt because I was just a kid trying to have something, trying to be something, trying to make sure my parents didn't have to struggle, because it was a struggle back then. You know, Dad built. You know, when I was 6 years old, my parents built their house and everything, big house. You know, they worked crazy hard for that money. And I remember days, man, when we didn't have a lot on that table, for real.
Correct. I like that you spoke on that, the differences and the struggles that, you know, played a part. I still bounce back from it. Um, Oh, sorry about. I said I definitely appreciate how you approach that and explain like the differences, like knowing your wealth, but I was also fighting through the struggles to get where you wanted to be. Because that was going to be my next question, as far as like the if factor. Did you ever have an if factor, even though you felt like, you know, you love this? This was something that, you know, you can really elevate and take strive to. Was it one moment or multiple moments where you kind of sat back and said, okay, is this the right direction I want to go in?
It's funny you asked that, because like I said, I wanted to play football. That was my biggest thing. And unfortunately, I had broke my hip, you know, sophomore year of high school. And I couldn't, that took me out of, you know, football for high school and all of that. But I did have, you know, I can use my hands. I'm good with my hands. I'm good with drawing and cutting, but I love to cut, you know. And what really made me, like I said, love to cut is I looked at it like it was drawing, if that makes sense. Because the drawing was my first love. And that went in, that helped me with the cutting. So that helped me to be able to, like, I can look at people's head and tell you, you know, look at you and come up with a haircut that'll look good for you, for the shape of your head, the contour of your face, this, that, and another. And that they came together. And like I said, I didn't know I was going to do this forever. But I remember when I started and I saw I was good at it, and I said, you know what? I want to enter competitions. I want to teach what I know. And literally the books that you study out of is missing so much. It's missing so much, and I would love to help in that area. I actually had something kind of going with Illinois with that, because it's an art, it's a gift, it's a blessing, all at the same time. Um, the only part that I would say could be a curse is how you manage it. And I'll be the first to tell you, I mismanaged it when it came to my health, because the excitement of it, if this makes any sense to you, it was like adrenaline for me. You know, it still is. I could literally like lose myself doing a haircut, man, and I ain't even, nothing else matters, man. I'm just into this cut, making this happen. Who cares about anything else that's popping off? You know, and I don't know, bro. That's just how it was. I just kept going with it, and I prayed. I remember I prayed to God and said, "Okay, God, I'm doing this now. This is probably what I'm a. If I don't do it forever, my whole big dream was to own a chain of barbershops and schools, and have them literally spread around the world, around the country. And my school would be different. When I train you, you work in the shop for a year to two to learn the ropes, to learn how to run your own, because doesn't take that long, and then literally have one set up for you to run it. And part of the proceeds come back to the school, of course, so we can keep putting people out here, and then that can spread to, barber, beauty, nails, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's been my whole dream. It still is. It's gonna happen. It's still gonna happen. But no, bro, that I would say that's just how it went right there. It was just my son threw it, and I just said, God, if I'm gonna do this, make me the best.
I definitely love how you approach that as far as the educational part, because I wanted to tie that into this as well. Um, I know that from what I'm hearing and seeing when it comes to social media and stuff, and you dealing with the price points and working out at a barbershop or getting your suite, or is going to a school or apprenticeship better? And I just want to know, I mean, I know it's been a while, but just hearing the conversations that you probably hear in the industry, the one that's saying I want to be a barber, how would you tell them to approach this system? Like, would you tell them, find a mentor, maybe work at the shop, do an apprenticeship, or would you tell them to go straight to school? And I know that you said that school doesn't really give you everything that you should know. And what is that you feel like is missing from our educational system when it comes to being at the school?
I'll start with what's missing.
Okay.
Um, is um, a lot of different techniques. Um, I used to also go to beauty school, cosmetology schools, and teach the barber part, give classes and things of that nature, and show them, because in there they show you one type of fade. They don't show you, they don't talk about how the heads are. How do you do a straight, how do you make a bald fade look straight if their head dents in, or if their head pokes out? Do you
Right.
go higher or lower? Do you stay in the middle? Do you leave hair thick in the dip, or do you thin it out? They don't teach that. Design work, no, they don't teach it. And it has, so I'll say that's what would be missing. And along with a lot of other things, we can sit here for a while to really get technical in it, but it's a great start. I would tell that new person, go to school, but wait, when you go to the school, ask all the questions. Literally sit at home and write the questions down, man, because if you prepare, that's success right there in itself. Them wanting to go and preparing is saying, I'm not playing. Okay? Whether they know how to cut hair or not. Now, when you go in there, you ask them, have you ever had anybody, say if it's a person that's never cut hair before. Okay, I don't know how to cut hair. Have you ever taught anyone who never cut hair before how to
Right.
cut hair? I mean, go in there with what you need. Let's just not even play around. I don't believe in the BS and the middleman and all that. Let's just get straight to the point. whatever they need, that's the first thing you ask for, right? Now, if they don't have, oh no, we never done that. Okay, my second question, and it doesn't mean they can't. My second question would be this: what do you do first here, outside of the book work? How would you first show me how to cut hair? And then I would base it off of that, literally, like if they give you a good answer or not. You know, you don't have to be a barber, I don't think, to know if they can give you a good answer or not. Of course, nobody's going to say, oh, we will start you off on bald fades. No. Horrible. Horrible idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's horrible, because honestly, a bald fade was the top tier of haircuts. Bald fade was what they expected you to be able to do when you were done. Not the beginning. Just can you get the hair even? Can you get the lining straight? Do you know how to adjust your clippers? Do you know how to clean them? Do you know how to make them work to where they're at the top and not the bottom? You know, all of these things matter. So literally, like I said, education is everything to this day, bro. I've been cutting hair since I was 10. I'm 51 years old. And I ran a shop at my parents' home until I was 18, went to school. After school, I went straight into a friend of the family's beauty shop for 1 year. And I learned so much from him because he was top dog. It was only him and a couple other people who could mess with him. Antoine Freeman, Peoria, Illinois again. He allowed me to come in his shop for the first year, and I started cutting on a lot of women's hair. I was doing women before, but it was just shorter haircuts, you know, easier stuff. But now I'm messing with the longer stuff. I wasn't curling them and wasn't flat ironing them because he was there doing that. But some of them, if they wanted that hard angle bob or that asymmetrical cut, this, that, and another, man, I'll lay that thing on you so quick, put that blend in there, and I could do soft fades that fit the ladies, you know. And that's where I first learned. I can't even say learn because they bullied me, man. Tammy Evans, I'm going to tell you now. She sat in my chair and was like, Lamar, arch my eyebrows for me. And I was like, I've never touched eyebrows. I have, let me take that back, but put how we used to wear the party.
Right.
I do that for you all day, but I was like, arching a woman's eyebrow, you know, back in the day, to men, it was like touching women's hair was, don't do it. If you don't know what you're doing, if you've never done it before, and I don't know how you're going to have done it before if you got to, you know what I mean? Got to have that first time. So literally, she was like, Lamar, education is everything. By me going to that beauty shop, willing and wanting to learn more, I learned that more. And I got taught even more than what I ever expected. And like I said, when that made a lane, I literally probably had at least 100 women who would just come just for eyebrows. Yeah. And I see them every week, some of them twice a week. And I didn't like the wax. I don't do the wax. I don't snatch your brow hair out your face either. I use my clipper. There we go again, back to the drawing board. I use my clipper, and that's what I was most comfortable with outside of the pencil, right? So I said, I'm not going to use what everybody else does. I did my clipper, and I come down my clipper with what the first tool I ever used in my life was a straight razor. So then I used a straight razor because I was already used to lining up people all the way around. And back then, bro, we put the razor on the back of your neck, around your ear, all of that. So you had to be able to move that blade in your hand back and forth to get to what you had to do, and all of that stuff, and not having clippers that were as sharp as they are now. I think that's what made me, for real. You know, that's what made me cut right. Yeah. I had my own clipper blades. I used to file with the long metal file, man. My dad had to sharpen his knives and stuff, and I used that, and there it is.
That's funny. I know that you spoke earlier about like knowing your condition, knowing your health, knowing your mental. I feel like that's a lot of things that's being left out of our industry as far as like taking care of ourselves
For
mentally,
sure.
physically.
For sure.
And I know we just on the go, we on the move. We gotta, be in the shop, standing for hours and cutting and, moving wrists and arm and shoulder blades and all this other stuff. And we just,
It'll
we
do.
gotta keep that's our livelihood and that's how we make money. But for yourself, like, when was it a point in your life when you realized that, hey, I need to physically start taking care of myself and make this a top priority?
Man, I'll tell you what, bro. In 2006, stroke and bleeding aneurysm in my barbershop. All my barbers were gone to lunch. It was like 5 or 6 of them. I had a client in the chair. I just finished that client. Okay. They leave. I sneeze. I go to the restroom to blow my nose. Once I put my hand up to my face with the tissue, right? I just, for some reason, I had both. I just put both hands up there with tissue, trying to catch. I was getting sneeze again, I believe. And my left arm just dropped to my side.
Oh, wow.
And I hurried up and got out the bathroom. And literally, it felt like I wasn't even born with the arm. Like I ain't even miss it. Mentally, I ain't even miss it. I'm looking at it, but it feels like there's nothing there. No nerve feeling, nothing. No burning, no tingling, no numbness. It was nothing. So I walk out, and at the time, my barbers are coming in from lunch. They had already been gone before I, started the haircut. And I said, man, I can't feel my left arm. They were like, what you mean? I said, I can't feel it. They come, they tap on it. I couldn't feel it. All of a sudden, bro, I fall over on them.
Oh, wow.
So, and it's a long story. I know we ain't got all day, but got myself to the hospital, me and my cousin, and to this day, I was always wondered why they didn't call 911. Instead, they started setting up to do haircuts again.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it to say they did something so horribly bad. It was at that time. But it also reminds me of this. We can't forget about health. Like I know you go for it like there's no tomorrow, but honestly, it could be no tomorrow.
Correct.
Like I had a massive stroke. We found out when we get to the hospital. Helped me get in the driver's seat. So my side was out, but my right side worked. So as soon as we hit the property, just like that, like it went, everything come back. But I remember crying days, bro. Crying at night, man, thinking about, man, why didn't nobody care enough to even call the medics? Like I almost died. They told me I should be dead. I should be gone. Blood pressure was 195 over 290, 297. It was crazy, bro. No, it was 295 over 197. That was it. I had to mix around. And they were like, you having a stroke right now, you still in it. It wasn't nothing but God that got me to the hospital, bro. And within 30 seconds, they monitoring me, rushed me to the back. When they laid me on my back, I lost track of everything. I was just like, I just turned to mush.
Yeah.
I can hear and make out what you're saying, but it was hard for me to say it back to you.
Right.
And all they kept saying, are you on cocaine? Are you on cocaine? Do you do crack? It was a shame that they looked at this young black man who's stroking out, and that's all they could think of. I was able to answer them, but still, it was a big mystery.
Yeah.
So, and I told a little bit of the rest because I figured we could take this time to kind of educate folks.
Yeah.
I was having a stroke. A stroke does not come with pain. It does not come with warning signs. It just comes.
All right.
So you got to know. If you feel, sometime it'll be a tingling or a numbness on one side. But if you feel something goes out, if you haven't been to the doctor in a while, just go get checked out. Don't be scared of it. Because my life has been saved many a days because of that. I've been operated on 28 times. I've had my shoulders rebuilt, like I said, because I mismanaged my gift and I was giving too much of myself. Because when we're in there, people in that chair, man, our mentals have to be intact because we have, they're at their most vulnerable state with us in that chair, mentally, emotionally, everything. You could talk, I mean, you can see it. Same person that may be hard when you somewhere else, they in that chair. That's when you hear the real them. You hear what hurts them. You hear what helps them. So I really take that real serious, you know, because like I said, your mental well-being has to be there. And I was just giving, and wasn't receiving as much as I was giving, which would probably be impossible, but at least to receive half, you know what I mean? But it's tough. You can't ask the people getting in the chair. They're already giving to you by coming and by paying for your service, you know? So another footnote I would throw in there is to say, once you see that you're attracting a lot of attention, you go ahead and set your hours from the jump and you start getting full and packed. Okay, you need to go up on your prices. First of all, you need to give yourself a raise every year like any other job. Now, clients might not like this, but I tell you what, bro, I started off $2 a haircut. I went to $3 a haircut. I went to $5 and I went to 10. I was charging $10 a haircut, bro, when I was 17, 18. Now I was getting more than that, but that's what I was charging. So in the shop, I went to 20. Man, you would have thought that I said, you know, well, nobody gonna get paid for their jobs no more. I mean, they wanted to cut my head off, right? But I somewhat knew my value then. I was so into being able to practice my gift, I wanted to make it affordable. So most of the designs I gave out, 95% of the designs I gave out, they didn't even pay for that. I'm a little kid getting a chair. Oh, he did good. I'm like, you got A's? You got A's? Okay, what you like to play? Baseball, basketball? I like basketball. Okay. I put a rim with a net to basketball in his head, right? But what it did build is that I had generations on top of generations on top of generations that's coming. People out of town, whenever you visit, let your hair grow. Get your hair cut by Lamar. Go see Big L. They used to call me Big L back at home. They're like, man, go see L, man. He got you. And so, yeah, but like I said, you got to take care of yourself. So when you feel something going wrong, you haven't been to the doctor in a while, literally, y'all, go see the doctor. Don't be afraid. Be afraid to stay at home and not know.
Right.
Now, that's big facts. Be scared to sit at home and not know. Okay? Because like I said, I had a hole in my heart that I was born with, went undetectable until then. And that's what it was. And they believed that there was a blood clot holding that hole, plugging it up. So they said, have you ever had sharp pains in your chest? Right there. I said, yeah. They said, real sharp, I mean intense. I said, yeah. They said, how long would it last? I said, not long, a few seconds. So I think the longest may have been maybe half a minute. They believed that was a clot would break up, and I should have stroked out right then. But it formed another clot and closed it back up. And they tested my blood. I have very thick blood. So now, you know, they put me on thinners now, but it has something to do with all the surgeries and stuff I had. But it was, and I would form clots very fast. So that right there, that helped me right there, right? That helped me. But later on, it hurt me because I ended up having, you know, getting a clot formed in my leg. Had that twice. Pulmonary embolism, had that twice. You know, and now I have to be on thinners to keep my blood thinned down so it won't build up so fast. And that's what they call, quote unquote, blood disease and blood disorder. They literally call it that. And it's just your blood is thick. We're not all the same.
Correct.
We're all made unique. Everyone's blood is not going to be the same. It's not. I don't care what they think. God was something else. You know what I'm saying? And so having to have survived, you know, things like that, and having my shoulders rebuilt, my arms dropped again while I was cutting hair. My arm gave out my left arm.
Wow.
I finished the person one-handed, you know, brushing and cutting with one hand. I gave them the brush, like brush right there for me, and finished them up. Got them out the chair because I didn't. It wasn't circulation. I was feeling pain, so I knew something had snapped. Torn rotator cuff, retracted 100%. They checked the left one while I was there getting checked the right one while I was getting the left one checked. The right one had already torn and started retracting 35%.
Yeah.
So this one, the left one, dropped to the floor. I couldn't use it no more. And just don't ignore your bodies. You know, I can go on for days, for real.
No,
28 surgeries.
you dropping some jewels that we need, because I mean, in general, not just in the barber world. You're speaking on just understanding to take care of yourself mentally and physically, like especially in our Black community.
Yeah,
we rarely want to go to the doctor for anything because we feel like if we go to the doctor, we're gonna get some news that we don't want. So we just gonna sit on it until something really happens and go, okay, I can't take it no more. I got to go to the doctor.
And you know what? It's in us because of things like the Tuskegee experiment.
Yeah.
That's really the real reason why most Black folks and Black men in general feel like, man, no, I ain't going to the doctor. They feel like they can't trust them. So I say, find you one that you know you can trust. Find you one that speak your lingo, make you comfortable, but they also have a track record. Check that track record. You know what I mean? It ain't personal. Check the track record so it can be personal. You feel me? Because you want to be able to have somebody that has great bedside manner. If they come in, their heads down most of the time, they barely glancing at you and they in a hurry, you're too busy for me. Too busy for me. So, yeah, bro, like I said, health is wealth. That's number one thing, man. Because I love to cut hair. I'm like addicted to it. You hear me? Like, and right now, sitting down, not being able to move around. You know, I've been in this stage before, but I hate it because I'm where I wanted to be, where I wanted to, you know, I made it to where I wanted to really make it to as far as, you know, my gift and my craft, but it ain't the only stop for me. It was one of them, you know what I mean? But not being able to use my hands like God blessed me to, it mentally will bother me, you know. It don't break me down like that because, like I said, I've been here too many times. So I thank God for that because I can help others who are probably in the same, you know, space as I am. And just stay strong, you know, get into you. Find out what you haven't been doing for yourself. You know, it may be traveling. You may not have been fishing for a while. It may be, you know, scuba diving, just anything. Just literally get into you, learn you. And the people who are worth it, they're going to treat you like you treat them.
Yeah.
Them big, I had a ton of clients. I built it up to 750 people.
Wow.
And I know it sounds like I'm lying. I got appointment books to prove it. I give you phone numbers. You can talk to them yourself.
You have to write that in.
Bro, because I would start at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. was my first cut. So I was at work at 3:30. My last cut was midnight.
Wow.
I'm rolling though. You know what I mean? And it was like the club. My shop was like the club, man. It was like you had to go. Everybody came there. They come outside and washing their cars in the parking lot, all that. I got cousins and friends out there, Juice and Melvin Rutherford. They out there washing cars, getting paid. You know, everybody made money, and it was just like we made a community, bro. And it was sad that the police got involved in a negative way. FBI. I literally found myself in federal courthouse fighting for my freedom because they thought I was selling keys of cocaine because I had so many people at the shop. They didn't want to leave. That was one of the only places you could go as a Black person and not get harassed.
For real.
After they actually harassed us. It, like I said, about my health, let's go back to that. And I even told people they come in, they sign the list, sign when you want to come in. And I was doing haircuts every 15 minutes. At first, I did every 30. And I came up with ways so I can do haircuts a whole lot faster and more efficient at the same time. So then I was, every 15 minutes, somebody else was in the chair. That means I started you, I cut you, I dusted you off, I got your money, everything, holler back, all that, show love, hug you. You go on the next person in the chair, 15 minutes flat.
That's great.
All day, every day.
Yeah.
And but that's what killed it, bro. That's what tore my shoulders down. That's what, had everything breaking down. I got hip replacement, all that stuff, bro. But, and it's all from, had I managed it differently, I can't say that the city would have saw me in a different light. I used to cut the captain of the police force, his family. At one point I could understand what their thought process, because of their thought process, I could understand what they thought was happening. But it just, they tried to run me out. And the corner where we were cutting at, it was literally the busiest corner in the city, the busiest intersection. When they put the cords out in the street and they measure how many people come through that intersection. And we were the only black business that wasn't on the south side of town. And we were 19, 20 years old.
Correct. Young man.
And getting all that attraction, then they were afraid if we could handle it, Thank God, man, the only fight that broke out up there really was a fight from the ladies' shop. Wasn't even from us, Everything was pretty cool because, I used to cut a lot of different, gang members and this, that, and another. But that right there, that ground right there was sacred. Like, we don't do that up in here. You know what I mean? We just don't. And it worked out. It was nice, bro. But I think if I would have tapered down and really saw my value instead of cutting all these, I'd do 120 people in a day like nothing. Yeah. 55 people before lunch. Yeah. Like, for real. And these real numbers. And so, and it was like, had I said, let me do one person an hour and charge them this $50, $60 instead of charging way under what I'm worth, but I'm stacking it up to pay bills and take care of myself. And through those surgeries, even though I had insurance, they would say a lot of those were pre-existing because they were multiple surgeries on the same body part at times. And so I had to come out of pocket for that. I paid for knee surgeries. I paid for hip surgeries. I know the real cost. You know what I mean? And it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it on that tip. Yeah. It was worth it as far as, like, it got me ready for any situation when it comes to this hair. When it comes to this barber, I'm ready for any situation. Let's get it. It's cool. And I was blessed to do every nationality, so I don't care who sit in the chair. I got you. It's funny, but so yeah, I would say make a regular timely schedule. You can't cut everybody, and I know y'all want to. I know you want to because it's something about barbering, it get in your soul. It get in your spirit. And that's what I said, because people are right there allowing their soul and spirit to be wide open. And that could be a very, very dangerous territory. So you got to treat it right.
For me, because I came from another field, I used to do, still do, I created clothes. So I can get the conversation of people, saying, oh, I love what you made, send it to me. But I really didn't get the feel of, like, once they put it on and how they went around people and stuff like that. But being a barber and being creative and cutting hair, you get to really see all that emotion right then and there. You can hear the appreciation, you hear, what they felt like they was not getting before, but now they're getting it now. Or they was going through something through that day, and then you just changed all that feeling just through a haircut. So yeah, like to be in a barbershop now, and this, the real person personality of someone once they sit. Like, yeah, when you're out in the room, you got to put on a different persona. You got to carry yourself a certain way. But I think in the barbershop, it changed all that. It gives you a relaxing feeling and where you can lay your hair down or, let it go.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I get what
sure.
you yeah. Let's talk about yeah, this other, journey that you have as well, and also I want to talk about like, we spoke off the air, but I feel like family is a big thing to you, a major part to you, and having your son and seeing the stuff that he's doing in his journey in life, and
Yeah.
how you guys are collaborating together and building, a new journey together. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about all the stuff that you're doing when it comes to, yourself, your family, and other outer parts of the barbering world. But maybe it still connects in a certain way, but it gives you other outlet to do other things that are more meaningful to you. Like barbering gave you this area to create things and be able to have things, but it also gave you opportunity to connect in other areas,
Oh, yeah.
like far as or whatever creative outlet that you have as well. Let's speak on that.
Okay. Like, it opened up the opportunity for me to be here in California.
Yeah.
Shout out to Stacy
Yeah.
Cuts. That's my
And I
girl.
I can't.
Oh yeah. Camille friend. Those two right there played a huge role in this, as well as others. Stacy, I met Stacy through some friends of mine, Tim and Bob. They were big record producers. They told me about her and was like, she cuts our hair here when I wasn't around. And like, she dope. She's super dope. You got to meet her, this and another. She does what you trying to do. And that's get into the film industry. I was already an actor. I came here SAG already.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I was acting in Prison Break, 2000,
Oh, yeah.
2005, man, to 2006. I did the first 2 seasons.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we were filming in Joliet. Back then, I didn't have my locks, of course.
That movie yesterday. That's crazy.
For real,
Yeah.
I had my hair just designed like I had designs going through it. Something like, I'll show you this. This is my Instagram one, but something like that.
Okay.
So that I did that to myself.
That's crazy.
So this is how I look. I look like this. Where's the picture? I look like this one right here.
Yeah.
In prison. So, and it was faded down on the sides. I kept it that way because I just entered a national barber competition with the hair. And
That's crazy.
African Pride, South Pole clothing. Because I won a shopping spree with them, this, that, and another. Because like anybody else, I entered competitions and they play you.
Yeah.
They cheat you. It happens. You know what I mean? It happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
And I remember they didn't place me because my outfit didn't match my model's outfit.
What?
I said, y'all didn't say that. But anywho, but that made me upset. It hurt my feelings, it pissed me off. Because beat me, but really beat me.
Yeah.
You feel me?
For real.
Straight up. I don't mind losing,
Yeah.
but make sure I'm losing.
You're right.
I was the only one there doing stuff like that. So when I went ahead and seen that national competition, I was like, and I ain't gonna lie, at first I was like, ooh, national, everybody? Let's go.
Right.
Because I'm a firm believer in, if it comes to you, you're supposed to do that. If it make you nervous and give you them butterflies, you're really supposed to do that.
Right.
That means you really supposed to do it. Right? And it was confirmation because I said, man, I want to enter some national. I want to enter some where people ain't buying. Ground. And I seen that, bro. I jumped in it and they called me and was like, dude, they were calling saying that I won, right? And they were like, we're looking for they were looking for the barber, right? So they were looking for me. And I told them I'm the model too. And they just heard me say I'm the model. And they were like, no, we're looking for the person that did it. I said, you're talking to him. They said, well, you just said you're the model. I said, I'm the barber and the model. I did that to myself. They were like, man, that's insane. Because, you know, you had to send pictures in, you had to send and proof. And when it came to that part at the end, these people had never seen none of it. They didn't see the videos or nothing. They just had the picture. And they were like, okay, hold on. We need to meet. You need to come up here. We need you to come in person. So it was held in Chicago. So they had me come up to Chicago. We did a big photo shoot, magazine spread, all that. And it was exciting, bro. And like that opened up crazy opportunities. So when I met Stacy, you know, she was busy running around. I was calling her off the chain. It was times where I called her probably 20 times and she called back once. I ain't care. And she was like, man, and I'll get to you when I can. So I was cool with that. So, and she'll say it to this day. She told my wife, this man right here wouldn't let me forget him. She was like, he wouldn't let, and I was like, no, because I knew I had to prove myself, you know, and I know I wanted to be taken serious, and I know I was out of sight, out of mind, and that's big in California. Out of sight, out of mind. They can't see you, they can't see you.
Yeah.
So, stayed on her about that. She gave me information what she could, and they gave me a call one day, bro. I had just had both shoulders redone. I had hip replacement, and I had a tumor taken out of my face. I grew a 4-inch tumor in my face. Wow. It was crazy. It grew within an hour. My wife was sitting next to me. We'll visit that another time. Okay. But it's gone now, as you can see.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. So when they called, Stacy called like, yo, man, come on, you can come up with woo. So you had to have your cosmetology license in order to get in, okay? You can't get in. You can get in now with barber license, but it's a whole different way they do it. But so the best way is to have that Cosmo license, okay? And so at the time, when my shoulders went out, I was supposed to fly back out here and take my state board. Oh, wow. Because they wanted me to get my state board from California, not from Illinois. Okay, and that's because I have a master barber license, which means we were trained in esthetician, barbering, and cosmetology and massage therapy. So so with the master barber was a Cosmo license. You see what I mean? Okay. But California didn't want it that way. I even went and took refresher courses and got set up to take state board there. And they were like, so before I went and did it, they were like, no, got to be from here. Okay. I said, okay, well, I did extra training, and it's not for nothing. So it's all good. So I had just had both, like I said, those surgeries done. I had only been back cutting hair for 2 months at home in the garage. The first month, I could only stand to do one head a week. It was hurting. It was bad. It was about 3 months. Then they called. I got the call from Stacy. She's like, come on. They said no because I didn't have a Cosmo license. See? But then they called back, and because of a law that's in there that they could reach out if certain situations have occurred, that gave me my break. I was already set up to take my state board. I was heading back here. See what I mean? So at the same time, I literally had to push the test back because I was on the job. So everything lined up just right, man. And I got here, and like I said, doing hair on the level that I was doing it on, and really going outside of my, if you could say, comfort zone. It's all comfortable to me, but coming outside of your own demographics and where you at, that really says something to everybody, you know. And so now to this day, they know me. They know that, hey, he get up there, he gonna do the right thing, you know. He get on the job, he gonna start people business, he's gonna listen, you know, be attentive. I'm gonna ask what the person, you know, make, you know, just the put on is just you really got to care about working with.
No, that's true. I know sometimes where I get invited to certain events to, you know, showcase my ability. I feel like I want to be more helpful. You know, sometimes some people can take that as, you know, he trying to show off or, you know, he doing too much. But that's just
Yeah.
my personality to,
Well,
you know. No, yeah,
well,
say so.
I had the same thing. Yeah, I went through that, bro, and that just means that they're not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because we'll hold on to them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's funny how you remember pain, but you forget happiness.
Right. Yeah.
You know, things that hurt, you remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's like same thing, bro. You just keep going. People said the same thing about me. I'm like, whatever, you
Yeah.
know. And if you don't be mad that you can't do it,
Yeah.
learn to
Yeah.
do it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like for real, it's real. We all got something here, and I don't hold no.
It always when you say something real and positive,
Yeah, bro, going
it
out
want to
like
glitch. So if you
but I'm
could,
trying to keep talking. I'm thinking you may be able to keep hearing me. No, um, like I was saying, bro, like the people who say anything against what you know that you're supposed to do, it's for a reason, bro. And a lot of times he bring that test so close to home.
yeah,
My dad was the first person, R.I.P. Pops, Pastor R.W. Randle.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
he was the first person to tell me I wasn't gonna make no money cutting hair.
right.
He's
My
like, son, you need to get this. You
mom,
need to get a job.
she was worried. She was like, "What? You want to do what?"
See, at that time, all my dad seen was he seen the corner barber shops, and they wasn't getting a whole lot. Wasn't a lot of action going on. Then they see also the there was a lot of people that cut hair in their basements. It was mostly retired people, you know, and and so that's how he seen it. And he's from Mississippi, you know, and he only seen so much. So he down the country. I'm not saying Mississippi lacking on that. And I'm just saying he didn't see what he seen once he came here,
Right.
you know, and to Illinois. And I remember telling him, you know, I said, Dad, I'm gonna make something with this. He said, boy, you ain't gonna make no money cutting hair. I said, you think not? He said, boy, you ain't gonna make. I said, okay, watch. I remember him coming down the basement, bro, ready to get in me because I hadn't cut the grass yet.
Yeah.
All right, woo, bro. I could tell in the footsteps that it was about to happen, but I'm laughing inside. I'm gagged because the basement was made to where you can come in through the garage and come straight into the basement, and we don't disturb my parents upstairs. He came down there, Lamar. Hold on, man, my neck killing right now. I'm trying to move. he came down there. He said, Lamar, and he looked. Man, I had the basement full of kids, bro. It was a Saturday morning. It was like 8:00 in the morning, man. I had 25 kids in the basement. Work. I said, I said, what's up, Dad? He said, oh, what you doing? I said, I'm cutting. Oh, okay. That did it. I was good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, I was good, bro.
I have one more question for you. I'm gonna save that, but I also want to credit what you're doing. I also want to say thank you for coming aboard and sharing your journey, sharing your time. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to join me today, and it's really heartfelt. I really appreciate this. All the jewels you dropped today was amazing. I see a lot of people saying Big L, Big L, man. So, you know, I
That's love.
know everything that you have put out to the world, all the energy, all the connection. I could see from the feedback that, you know, everybody appreciates you and, you know, they love you and they care about you and they just want to see you keep pushing and doing your thing. Let's talk about, your art. Let's talk about, if you're willing to share. Let's talk
Yeah.
about your comic book, your son's comic book. Let's talk
Well,
about all that stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
Let's put it because I still want to talk about it. It's not a comic book. It's a children's book. Well, I'm not.
All right.
I don't even want to say children. No, you good, bro. He has to make sure I say that. I don't want to. Yeah, him and my wife, boy, they tough. They tough. But it's the Adventures of the Super Crew. Okay, my son came up with the whole story, y'all. It's amazing. I'm talking about like I'm sitting there reading it, just tripping out on the things he says in it and the situations they get themselves in. So it's about him and his friends. I'm gonna hold the book up while I talk about it.
Okay.
Can you see it good? Okay, it's about
Yeah.
him and his friends get together and they want to make a movie, right? But they
Mm-hmm.
have to raise some money. So they come up with ways to raise some money to do this movie, and they end up with superpowers. So I'll leave a little cliffhanger right there. I won't tell you everything. But on the
Okay.
cover,
Okay.
these right here are those represent criminals. The shadows represent the criminals. And those you see
Okay.
the bags of money on the ground. And so
Yeah.
it shows that they come into this adventure and they end up saving the day. Okay. I can show you a couple of the illustrations. Now these are them in their superhero form. That's my son's superhero form. And his name
Fire.
is Instant.
Wow.
It's right here, his superhero. This is Slow Burn.
Slow burn. Love that.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I know he's not gonna want me to show everything. But it's dude, it's amazing. Like I said, we came up with it all together as a family. My wife put the book together many nights, sitting up learning the programs, this, that, and another. She's a beast on the computer, type her tail off. So, and she's a school teacher and an actor. So there you have it.
You're right.
The book. The book type, the typing type, the liter. She putting commas where they're supposed to be, but she also instilled that
That's
in the LJ
a
too.
true dream.
So he
Dream
has
team over
acknowledgments in
here.
here.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm tripping, man. Like it blows my mind, that we did it. He wrote it when he was 9.
Oh wow. Wow. I mean, what you expect? You was cutting hair and starting that.
I was getting to that.
I mean, had your own business. So I mean,
Everybody says that to me too. Yeah, it's funny, man. He told me, he said, Dad, I wanna make money like you did when I'm 10. I wanna do this and do that. I said, boy, you on TV. Okay, now I get it. And I told my son, I said, son, you on TV? What you talking about? You want to cut here in the basement? Man, you on TV. He actually played, he was in the whole second season of Abbott Elementary.
okay.
And his name on there is Trey.
Okay.
Now,
I
if you
think my
want to be able to,
they watch it. So yeah.
yeah, and if you want to be able to check them out on there, you can go in there on go to the second season. It was a Halloween edition, and he had on a money suit.
Okay.
And I always send people to that one because it's easier
Yeah.
to find him for those who don't know what he looked like. But he has a money suit on, man, and I'm telling you, bro, it's hilarious. He had a great time. They had him there. He went in as an extra. They had him there for the whole second season.
Wow.
So he is now he's SAG eligible, about to be totally SAG.
So you
He
just
acts.
you
He's
just
done many.
you just seeing a duplication of like yourself all over again.
On
Crazy.
steroids, bro. On steroids.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing too. I always said, when I have my own children, I want to give them the best opportunity. I want to be where we can get the best opportunity. I needed to be in a place where my haircuts go further than the basement. They go further than the local basketball game and all of that. They need to be on TV. I know I got something special. So it needs to be out there to the world, and not for bragging rights, because that was never.
Yeah.
I've been down too
Yeah.
many times to be on some bragging stuff, bro. For real, like it doesn't even mean none of that to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't, because whatever you got now, whatever you be gone in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
2 seconds gone, like never coming back. So I just knew I had a gift, and I wanted to teach it. I want to show people the gift. I love to, you know, like I said, do design. Me and my son just won a barber competition, the crown competition that was put on by the local, which is the union I'm in for hairstylists and makeup artists. And it wasn't just our union here, but it was also they also invited the East Coast.
Okay.
So both two unions, you know, they got together, and him and I won. We took first place. So you can go on my IG and look through some of the pictures, y'all. And I apologize. My IG is not all extra professional with just all the jobs I've done. It's just life stuff, and I'm still working on separating things like that. But you can go in there, you can see the haircut that I did on them. I'll pull a picture up while we're talking. Yeah, so we won that, and like I said, it doesn't stop. I love to compete. I love to keep showing it. And once I won that national competition, kind of piggybacking on what we said before, the opportunities. Once I won that, bro, man, I ain't have to talk no more. I ain't have to talk no more, bro. Like, they were coming left and right, and then my health went down, but they were coming left and right. I started helping judge competitions and all of that stuff. And like I said, even I'll show some more art here.
Okay.
And so I used to design clothes for people all the time back in school. That was another hustle I had, made some money. You know, I draw your clothes, I draw your hair, I draw wherever you need it. But right now I'm out, I'm injured, I'm down, tore a ligament in my wrist, my main cutting wrist, so I can't cut right now. Back is jacked up as well. I had a few injuries from a bad fall at work.
Oh, wow.
But and there too, bro, because I went for what I wanted and got the proper health care.
Yeah.
So me being down now, it's not